Hey there folks, this is Christian, the Dungeon Master of the Strings of Fate, with a quick thank you. It's about a week after Thanksgiving, but what better time to give thanks than the time where we get to see our Spotify analytics and see just how big everything has gotten and just how many people have heard our show. We are super grateful, and we really just wanted to put in a quick thank you at the beginning for watching the show. So thank you so much for listening to the show. Thank you so much for loving the characters. Please follow us as we continue our story all the way to the end. We got a long way to go, but I'm excited to travel that road together. Alright, that's enough out of me. Bye! Last time on the Strings of Fate podcast, you wake up to the sound of bells.
Did they leave you like a note?
Not that I could see.
Huh.
We're going to load Rhaenyra up into the Salinkari, and then we are going to make our way over to the New Quarter. You come upon this central entrance, a large set of stairs that move up to this central temple to a massive, ornate sort of cathedral door that is wide open. And coming from the inside of it, a long line that stretches all the way down the stair in rows.
How long did you wait to get up there? Just curious.
I registered my appointment weeks ago. We are looking to see one of the Lunar Quartet. I'm owed a favor by Bard Lars. Bard Lars took his leave. He left on his journey.
If I may be so bold, to ask for an audience with just one of them for 5 minutes.
I can have an audience with him. You see, a pink tiefling. One hour after the morning bell has rung. From above, one could describe the halls of the Temple of the Fractured Mother as labyrinthian. Layers upon layers of stained glass walls, obfuscating and distorting the center. The floors in almost purplish marble beyond this massive registration hall. Light fixtures here are mostly decorative, as the halls are illuminated from whichever direction the center is, and sweet scents fill the air, almost creating like a calming effect. If it weren't for the echoing sounds of footsteps and chatter that fill each hallway as physicians and patients alike meander their way from task to task, it would almost be peaceful. There's a lot of heaviness on your shoulders, but there's an aura about this place that is combating that, if that makes sense. You keep on the heels of the lunar songstress, no words spoken between you since her initial invitation. Thinking about the architecture is quite a monumental feat as you navigate, moving between layers and layers of hallway. The light growing stronger with each advancement and the patrons growing less and less until the glowing form of something is nearly able to be made out and the chatter has died down considerably. You're towards like the inner core now of this temple, and you can see as you look out the windows of the stained glass, the form is still distorted, but there is some massive structure that stretches and takes up a central chamber. This glowing fragment of something embedded into the temple itself. But it's here. You arrive at what looks to be your destination.
along the sides of the walls, there are doors. There have been doors along every hallway that just kind of sit on the wall, with seemingly nothing behind them. With walls of stained glass, you can see right through them, and there doesn't look to be a room on the other ends of these doors, yet there they sit before you. Lunar Songstress pulls like a ring of keys from her belt and starts to rifle through them silently. You and DeVille are carrying Renaer as she unlocks the door, pushes it open, turns towards you both, says, "You may enter."
Thank you. Thank you so much. I have a question.
Yes, to me or to the Lunar Songstress?
To you.
To me, go for it.
What does she look like?
Taking a closer look at the Lunar Songstress, she wears these elegant gowns that I had described, these physician's gowns almost, mixed with an almost cleric sort of garb. Some symbols to the Mother Night adorning both in embroidery and in jewelry, in a sense. In terms of height, she's not super tall. She's like an average height, maybe a little shorter. She looks quite young in appearance, especially for the role that she seems to hold. She looks quite fresh-faced, though you can see that there are like eye bags underneath her eyes, and her face is not deviated from basically like a small blank scowl-ish. Just like a resting like scowl, if that makes sense. Her hair is neatly done in these like twin tails that fall onto her shoulders. They're very professional though, in a way. These sort of twin tails that are just to get the hair out of her eyes.
Like braids?
Like braids, almost, yeah.
Not ponytails.
Yeah, much longer than you'd expect, that kind of go down past her shoulders. And short and stout horns that sort of barely poke out from under the hair. Stately frames rest on the end of her nose that she constantly finds herself pushing up as she kind of gestures. Well,
I will usher Renaer in and try to find him maybe a seat.
Sure.
Sit him down.
You take a step through into a very professional looking room. An office of some kind. Unlike any of the architecture you've seen before. There are windows in this room. There's no stained glass walls here. They're like nice, elegant walls with windows that look upon sweeping meadows. Far cry from the temple that you were just in. Ahead of you, there is a desk of well-carved grayish-purple wood, and atop it, a collection of small trinkets and decorations. And adorning the wall, there are certificates and photographs and a number of different items that just scream a sense of importance and weight. She elects instead to sit over at a center area where there is a coffee table, 2 couches with very nice upholstery facing each other, and she directs you to lay Renaer down in what looks to be like an examination table that is off at the corner of the room where there's some more like medical equipment around. But you are free to do so, and then she takes a seat on the couch.
Okay, I'll sit down across her.
Okay. With Renaer laid down, you take a seat on the couch. She pulls a clipboard and a pen. Your name, sir?
Vincent.
Full name?
Vincent Obra.
She writes it down. Takes a breath. Patient's name?
Renaer Brandhard.
Relation to the patient?
Partner. hesitates on that one.
There's silence. Dill sits with you on the other end of the couch. He's still a little out of it, as he's just kind of letting you handle this interaction. There are nerves on everyone here.
Vincent's hands are like shaking.
Go ahead and make an insight check for me.
Yeah, buddy.
It's not bad.
23.
23. This person's demeanor is very cold, very calculated. There is no hesitation in how she moves, in what she does. It's as if she does this all the time. But there is one point of hesitation. It's after you say your full name. She continues, without breaking her concentration. You have 5 minutes.
Okay. Yes, I understand your time is very important. Thank you so much. He is poisoned very badly, and I don't know how to help him. And it's just been getting worse, and it's been months at this point, and I don't know how to... we couldn't get a sample of the poison. I don't know how to help him, but he's very important to me. If you have anyone who can help, or if you can help, I don't know what to do at this point.
She looks at you, listening very intently. She takes a breath. Of course, a sample of the poison would be helpful in determining if there is an antidote, but it can be done without. If you know anything about the poison, it would be quite good to let me know.
Didn't Ladara get
A recipe?
a recipe?
Yes.
I
She
feel
certainly
like
did.
Vincent would have had the forethought to write it down and...
Yes. The recipe was vampire's blood, ash root, troll's nails, and very vague, the essence of somebody you despise.
Which was, we think, like Tasha's hair, right?
Yes. In this case, it was Tasha's hair. So that is your current understanding of the recipe. Whether that is accurate or, the perfect understanding of what they would need, that's what you know.
Okay. We found what we think is a recipe of some kind here, and I'll pull out my journal and flip to whatever page and let her read it. And say, I don't have all of these things, but if this gives you any insight into how to fix it.
Quick question, not out of game. Where is this journal from? How long have you had it?
It's, I just have a little, black journal that I've been kept with me. I think I've had it for a while. I just write down, basic things in it. Grocery lists, things of note. But it does have entries in it from when I talked to Archie. Because I remember I pulled out my journal and asked him to describe anything about me from my past so I could write it down so I could remember it. But it, it's not on the same page as the the recipe, but...
There's another point of hesitation before she reaches over and takes the journal, just stares at the page, puts it down and says, I understand why. This does not look to be the makeup of any poison that at least I know of, but knowing the ingredients, it does help us think of a treatment plan. You're aware of what it is you're asking for, correct?
What do you mean by that?
Currently, on my agenda, there are hundreds of patients.
Yes.
Currently, I'm taking a reprieve instead to add one more to that list. And
yes. Right.
it's quite a difficult decision for me to do this.
I understand. But he's very important to me. And I know that everyone else is the same, and I'm not special. But I can't lose him.
Make an insight check.
24.
She grits her teeth.
Oh.
And with a 24, there is a uncomfortable feeling that takes hold as you look at how this person is kind of looking at you. There's like a tension in the air that is more so than asking a professional for help in a busy time. A tension that you are acutely all of a sudden aware of. As she takes a breath and says, I see. This person is very important to you. There are hundreds of the same story in this building, but I understand that doesn't dull the urgency.
Does she seem angry with me?
For the 24? Yeah.
Shit.
How do you feel?
Vincent's not really putting two and two together yet.
You've mostly put together that this person is
really
upset,
mad at me.
Really angry with you.
Vincent is kind of assuming that it's because he's like taking up her time and like that he's done something wrong, but he doesn't really know what. He doesn't feel good.
Your current occupation?
Well, I guess adventurer, sort of. I don't really have an occupation. I just kind of wander around.
Is that right? This is she. Writes down another point, the pen kind of pressed against the clipboard. I see.
I have money if you need it, though. If that's the question, I can.
No, it doesn't take money. We don't take money here. The procedures here and the treatment is completely paid for by the state, at least the city itself.
Right.
It's not necessary. I just. She looks up at you. Looks you directly in the eyes.
He's not making eye contact.
She just stares, the heat perhaps burrowing towards yours. until she says, "Fine." And in Infernal, she continues saying, "If you wish to continue as strangers, then that suits me just as well." In Infernal, which you understand, it's strange break from common, and no one really speaks to you in Infernal anymore, but you understand the words. She looks away as she says them, and as you kind of...
What do you mean by that?
As you sit there and question, she shakes her head and says, "Nothing. This is a professional endeavor. Nothing more, nothing less." Do you one more chance at an insight check?
Mm, 28.
She knows you.
Oh, fuck.
The pieces are beginning to fall into place of anger. There's strange tension in the air combined with that statement. And this kind of strange recognition in her eyes as she says those words to you in Infernal.
I think that's where it would click.
As she says this, she stands up and says, "I know that you are not just a wanderer, an explorer, and I'm willing to help you with this, Mr. Obra." She says as she stands and walks towards Renair.
Vincent's eyes are like bugging out. He's like starting to realize, and then his mouth hangs open for a second, and then he's like, If you knew me a few years ago,
She stops.
I have to apologize for my lack of recognition because this is hard to explain. I don't know who you are. Not really. I'm sorry if... But are you... What's your name? If I may ask.
Her back faces you, stopped in her tracks on her way to examine Renair. Of course, that makes sense. I'm Songstress Elizabeth of the Temple of the Fractured Mother. She doesn't look back at you. And I believe it is for the best that you have forgotten me. I wish I could say the same for you.
Eliza?
She doesn't respond, and you see her grip her fists.
I'm sorry.
A name I haven't heard in a long time. And a name I would prefer you not use with me.
I'm sorry.
DeVille sits there in a bit of stunned silence just now kind of being broken from this trance as he kind of looks between the lunar songstress and back at you, and then elects to keep his mouth shut.
Smart man.
I know of your exploits, though, Vincent Obra of the Strings of Fate. And I know that you are not just an adventurer. And so I have a condition for you. I will treat your partner Renair, and it will be done that the exchange of currency, and to the best of my ability, I can carve the time out. But I need your help.
Of course, anything.
Against my better judgment, I believe you and your allies to be people that can help me. And whatever cruel twist of fate brought you here, it's at quite a critical time, she says without looking back, now making her way the rest of the way to Renair, beginning to examine the body and seeing the effects of the poison. She still hasn't looked back.
I'll do anything. Whatever it is.
Good. From this point forward, we'll enter into a professional contract. And when it is finished, we will never speak. Is that agreeable to you?
If that's what you want.
Make a persuasion check. Or charisma check, excuse me. Just a straight charisma check. But
You said nerf that. Nerf that roll.
Yeah, just waiting.
24.
24. She hesitates for a moment. Swallows. Yes. That's what I'd prefer.
I'm so sorry for any pain I've caused you. You don't have to accept my apology.
She looks back at you. Now, you can see her face. Blank. Cold.
You have every right to be angry with me.
I have long shelved those memories of you and the others and him. And so I am fine. I forgive you. there is nothing left to feel about the situation.
I can tell she's lying.
So, shall we continue, Mr. Oprah?
Yes.
Good, she says as she makes her way and over to her desk. You see her pick up a stone from out of this kind of stand that it is on. And she says, all right, get 2 nurses to escort a patient from my office to a treatment ward, please. There's a bit of backtalk, this chatter, before she interrupts and says, make room then. Before she hangs it up, she sits and says, from now on, Mr. Brandhart will be in the best care known to Aphra. And we enter into our agreement. Your name, sir, and she points at DeVille, who's like, eyes darting back and forth. He's like already a little stressed about a lot of the information he's learned today. He's like,
This like devastating aura. It's like crushing.
DeVille Starsong, at your service. I was also a famous adventurer. She says, name was all I needed. So, Mr. Oprah, I need an escort. Somebody to protect me.
Okay, I can do that.
For a voyage that I am going to take quite soon into a bit of a dangerous place. Do you believe you have the skill set for that?
I suppose so. Where to?
Beneath the city, I believe, there is a matter that I need to take care of. What I believe to be a reclaiming of something that belongs to the temple.
Okay. Do you need just me or my party members? There's DeVille and then 3 others that I can bring with me if you need the power.
From what I have read of your exploits, I believe that you should be sufficient. If Mr. Starsong wishes to join, then that is even better.
I look at DeVille.
DeVille looks and says, depends on the job. Let me see if he can get it together. I'm going to roll for him to get it together. Oh, 18 on a get it together roll.
Nice.
He collects his emotions as he... I'm sorry that I haven't been quite present in this conversation. I've been a whirlwind of information has hit. I will act as a negotiator in this deal, then. What is the job? We are going to confront a contact of an underground organization. We're looking for information. You see, I'm sure you've noticed that the windows filter light from a central point in the temple.
Yes.
That artifact is what Lunastra is built around. It is a massive and major relic to the believers of the Mother Night.
I've heard about it.
I'm sure you have. The fallen mother, a fractured fragment of the moon, crashed into the earth. Its healing properties, unlike anything known to any nation. And yet, despite all the care that has gone into protecting it, keeping it safe, keeping its access restricted, pieces have gone missing. There are fragments of the fractured mother that are being stolen.
And do you want us to go help you recover part of it? Yeah.
No.
No?
I aim to stop it at the source. I want to know who's doing it. There is no possible way that the person doing this is not connected to the temple in some way.
Ah, a rat.
Yes, interesting terminology, but yes. I need to root them out. I need to figure out who's doing this. They don't understand the devastating effects that holding on to a fragment of the fractured mother can have on anybody.
All right. Yeah, I can help out with that. I mean, at least protecting you while you do that.
Good. And then, when this is done, I will finish Mr. Brandhart's treatment. And you can go on your way.
Is that all you require of me? This one job?
I will leave the terms of our contract open and flexible. As I don't know how deep this goes. But when this is finished, when I figure out the source, then we will have nothing left to do with each other, Mr. Oprah.
Of course. If that's what you want.
Make another charisma check as you say that.
$13.
You see her kind of narrow her eyes at you as you say this phrase again, if that's what you want. He grits her teeth for a moment. I believe it's in both of our best interests.
I'm curious as to why you say that.
She pauses as she looks away from what she's writing down on her clipboard.
Do you hate me that much?
The audacity that you have to turn this on me after all these years.
It was a genuine question. I'm not accusing you of anything. I've hurt a lot of people. And I don't even know that I've hurt them. And I've accepted at this point that I can't make everything right. And maybe you don't want me to. But I don't know. I don't know what I want.
After all this time, neither do I. She looks at you. Make a persuasion check for me.
$22.
She takes a deep breath. I have made my peace with everything that has happened. Everything that I lost because of you. I've made my peace with it. And I recognize that it was all steps towards something better. I think the reason that it would be best for both of us is that we may maintain a professional relationship as we undergo our contract, and so that I can let those feelings rest. I do not hate you anymore, Vincent Oprah. You are a stranger to me, and I would rather you remain a stranger.
You know, Archie mentioned you. That's how I know about you. I saw him. And I said the same thing to him, and I didn't know him. He was angry with me as well. He was furious with me. He had every right to be, just like you. He said he didn't know where you were. Or anyone. And, that he was looking for you. And he told me to tell you, if I found any of you, he told me to say he was sorry. I don't know if that means anything to you. I know you're getting a lot of apologies today. But that's the last thing I'll say on it. And then we can continue as you wished. Professional.
She stands up, begins to make her way to the door, and she opens it. She says, "I'll return in an hour to retrieve you for our operation." She slams the door behind her and walks out, leaving you in the silence of the room. DeVille. I think that went better than expected, but...
DeVille.
You know what? Yeah, you're right.
Hello and welcome to my twisted little mind, also known as The Break. Thank you so much for listening to episode 38 of Softpod, the Vincent solo session. Real quick, If you listen in really closely, you might be able to hear music bleeding in from the session. I positioned my mic wrong, and I had the music up a little loud, which means that music may be playing, and it may or may not be a little copyrighted, but that's okay. Just everyone be cool about it. No one tell. Everyone just be chill. We'll be fine. Just in time for the holiday cheer, we have got a very special giveaway for you, partnered with our good friends at Dungeon Depths. That is right, Dungeon Delvers. Chris has come to us and blessed us. They came down from the heavens and bestowed upon us 3 party members in holiday gear. They're amazing. They're cute. They're wonderful. And you can go check them out now on Twitter and Instagram to get a chance to win 4 amazing stickers. That's right, I said 4, even though despite earlier I listed 3 things. Well, that's because Olivia has gone above and beyond and created us a wonderful Winter Soft logo, which will also be in the giveaway. So, go check out that giveaway. You got until Friday to enter and possibly win these very, very cute stickers. However, perhaps you should keep an eye on the Dungeon Depths store once the giveaway is over. If you don't know what the Dungeon Depths store is, what are you, living under a rock? You don't know about Dungeon Depths and you listen to the Strings of Fate? Get out of here. I'm just kidding. You can stay. Come here. Sit down. Let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a story about quality gaming supplies with character. That's right. Dungeon Depths is the sponsor of the Strings of Fate. They have amazing dice, amazing apparel. They carry the soft pod merch. They do it all, and they are fantastic at it. So, go check out their store at shopdungeondepths.com and use the code SOFTPOD at checkout to get 10% off of your order. Isn't that neat? Thank you, Dungeon Depths. This show is also sponsored by you, the viewer. Much like PBS, we are user-funded, so thank you so much for supporting us on Patreon. I'm going to take a moment to read out the honorary Bard patrons. Also, some of the patrons that were able to see some of these winter designs a little bit early. Thank you to Sparrow, Bug, Auda, Obsolete Goat, Orion Arthur, Marika, and Neerja. Thank you so much for sponsoring us on Patreon. And Mary, I really hope I got your name right. I looked it up on so many websites. I'm really trying to redeem myself. /LH. This show is also sponsored by Roll20 and the Roll20 Spotlight. That's right, Roll20 is a virtual tabletop that you can use to connect with your players from across the world. You can put it on a little battle map, have a little initiative tracker. It's really useful and handy. I used it for a lot of my games when I was just starting out for D&D. So go check them out at roll20.net. Hey there, if you're not already there, why don't you go check out the Soft Court? It's where fans of the show can gather and form a little community and talk with each other, Also join us for the live chats and, see fan art. It's really nice. It's very wholesome, very fun. I love the Soft Court. It's a huge part of what keeps us going in terms of the show, just because we get to see your reactions live as you are watching the show. We love when new people come in and just start reacting to the episodes and telling us how they feel about it. Honestly, it's very nice when people just spam the show spoilers chat with reaction. It is part of my favorite content on the Soft Court. I also recently fixed a bug in which the bot wasn't letting you in after you did a reaction roll to the welcome page. That was on me. I figured it out, and now we're good to go. So go check it out and try and get back in there. Thank you to the mods of the Soft Court for helping me keep a handle on the community. I can't be there all the time because of work and all that business, and so it's really nice to know that I've got really good people looking out for everything and keeping an eye on things. It's really been a huge weight off of my shoulders. If you don't already know, we are going to be at Holiday Matsuri on December 18th. We're going to have a little panel there on teaching people how to play TTRPGs. We're going to try and record it if we can, but if it doesn't happen, or if it's not that good, then you won't see it. Anyways, that's all from me. Bye.
You are alone in the office of Songstress Elizabeth.
With Deville, right?
With the Deville, who is inspecting the books, the various books. There are a multitude of bookshelves lined up along the walls, all packed with heavy tomes of medicine and fiction and non-fiction, just a variety of them. And Phil takes a couple off the shelf, and under his breath is just muttering to himself, "Should you read all of these? Good God," she says. As he starts pushing them back in. Renair is still. Breath still slowly rising in his chest.
I think Vincent would sit down on the couch and put his head in his hands.
You feel a weight sort of pulled off of your shoulders, but the tension still hanging there. At least the presence of her being gone is some relaxation, but definitely a bit of a hit. That entire conversation was a tough thing to hear. DeVille kind of meanders back over and says, "How are you feeling? Are you all right?"
He pulls his head out of his hands and he starts like wiping at his eyes. He's like, I've been better.
Yeah, that seems to be the case for sure.
I had no idea. What are the odds that I would run into? Oh my god.
It's Vincent. He kind of sits down and looks at you.
She's part of the Lunar Quartet. She's like important.
I mean, that's quite a connection you have there, Vincent. I thought I was the one pulling in a favor, but it looks as though you have more connections than I do these days.
I don't even know. DeVille, I don't know her. Well, in a way I do, but I don't remember her really.
She's somebody from your past, I suppose.
Yes.
Something before.
You know Archie, right? Of course you know Archie.
We talked.
He said I had, at one point or another, a family. And I think she was at one point my little sister. But I don't remember her. And she doesn't want anything to do with me, which is... God.
Well, listen. I'm not that good at this, but...
No, it's fine. You don't have to...
No.
It's cool. I'll bottle it up.
No. No. Adjnor tells me that's a bad thing.
It's for
and
now.
I tell him that's a bad thing, so I have to tell you this is a bad thing.
For now, I'm gonna suck it all in.
Listen, it's all right to be
DeVille,
upset.
I'm holding it together by a thread.
Vincent, look at me.
What? Yes.
Look at me.
What?
You are so tense. Just release. Vincent, it is okay to be upset by that. That was an extremely upsetting interaction. We have a job to do.
Yes, yeah, we have a job to do. So
it means that it's not completely she wants nothing to do with you. There's still a job to do. Hopefully, if we can, I don't know, we can get this done. We can get Renee healed. He's going to be in the care of the best healers in Afra. That's one less worry.
Thank God.
Listen, Vincent. Family is extremely difficult. Especially because that bond is tough to break sometimes. But sometimes that works in our favor. It's not so easy to break familial bonds. It takes a lot of work.
I didn't even know I had a family. And they all hate me.
Well, you don't know if that's true. But I do know one thing. No matter what happens, you still have us.
I'm sorry about your friend.
It's fine. It's a natural part of elven life.
Dying? I mean, yeah, I guess.
No, it's different.
Sorry, that sounded insensitive.
No, it did, but no, it's all right. I forgive you, for real. Sorry, it's too soon. Listen, elven dying is not the same as everything else dying. We are technically immortal. Elves are.
That's what I thought.
Yes, so, Ladara and I will live on theoretically into the new ages, thousands. But that's not the case. We're immortal except one day it's just time. Time to go. Time to leave on your journey.
Right. Vincent's not comprehending, but he's like, sure, yeah. I get it.
I can see that you're a bit... Listen, I don't know much about it either.
Regardless, I'm sorry. I don't know how close of friends you two were.
We were... I don't know. It was a time of adventure in my life. It was a whirlwind of everything and meeting so many people and living in a... I don't want to say golden time of my life, but it feels like it. I met so many people and I just always assumed they'd be there. And sort of come back and all the people I left behind, and to see that some of them are just gone. I don't know, it's a tough feeling. Especially when they're not too far in age from yourself. I'm just afraid that one day soon I will wake up with visions of a boat on a shore that I have never seen before. And I'll know. Maybe I already have. Says as he looks out the window. But enough of that.
It's a little heavy.
Maybe I'm going to bottle that up and I'm going to push it down.
We're just going to bottle up our emotions,
You know
aren't
what? You know what? Maybe you're onto something with this bottling thing. I feel great.
I don't feel great, but I'm working through it.
No, I feel sick, actually. I feel nauseous.
Are we going to just sit in here and then...
Let's sit. Let's look around. There's a bunch of very nice things. All of these books, every one I've pulled through, they've got notes in them.
Please don't actually touch anything.
It's too late. It's far too late for this. I've been doing this.
DeVille.
Just let's look around, take our mind off things.
If there's any reason for her to not help Renair, and it's your fault, I'll kill you. We are on a very, very narrow tightrope.
We haven't had this discussion. I don't know if you could. I don't mean this as an I don't mean this as an insult, but I just thought through the process of what that would look like, and I think that's an empty threat.
Do you want to try it?
Listen,
do you want me to test it out?
You're the one that doesn't want to mess up this office. Do you really want to decorate this with my pretty little blood?
Fuck you.
Just look around. We don't have to touch anything to read whatever is on the walls here. Do whatever you want to do. Or just wait.
I'll get up and I'll walk around. I'll probably pace around.
Sure,
Maybe
make a perception check.
Look at some stuff in passing. Not great.
Not. It's not a super high DC, but there is like a higher one to see some secret stuff.
I got a 9.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, not great.
Anything particular you'd be looking at on the walls? Or just around the room?
Probably those certificates.
Okay. That's a lot easier to read because it's literally just
right
reading.
there.
It takes you a little bit scanning through everything on the photographs on the wall. They're just like class photos of large groups of people in somewhat familiar uniform. It doesn't take you an extra roll to tell that looks close to the uniform of the Magus Academy.
Oh, shit.
Looking around, though, you kind of inspect everything on the wall and nothing really catches your eye until you get to the certificate. There it is, your confirmation there. The title of the Magus Academy, along with the degree itself, which looks to be some kind of doctorate of some kind. Like a very time-intensive, work-intensive degree, which, just to give you a little bit of idea of what that means, I mean, like, supposedly she's not that old looking. Not that much time has passed.
Mm-hmm. That's Dr. Songstress Elizabeth to you.
Dr. Songstress Elizabeth. There is a last name.
Mm-hmm.
This certificate of completion of the studies of the Magus Academy in the track of doctorate healing is addressed to one Dr. Elizabeth Singe. Make an intelligence check for me. Or you may be able to put this knowledge together yourself based on how well you took notes.
I'm a little dumb, so I'm going to need that, that roll. That sounds a little familiar. That was only a 12 for the roll.
The last name is familiar to you, but you're not entirely sure from where. And more time has kind of passed at this point as you are scanning the walls before there is a knock at the door. Stepping through, you see 2 nurses who enter with a, is it a gurney, I think is called? I forgot what the
I have no idea.
rolling table is called. I think it's a gurney, but I might be wrong. Roll it over and begin to transfer Renair quite carefully. the bit of worry as you're trying to, move this person. Mm-hmm. And alongside that, Elizabeth in a garb much different to her flowing robe, something a lot more discreet in terms of appearance, like a hooded cloak, and adjacent to adventurer's clothes. She walks in and says, "So, are we ready to move?"
Oh, today? Now?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I have an appointment to keep.
Okay, yes. Deville, do you have your shit?
I always keep some kind of dagger and my spellbook on me, so okay. I should be good.
Okay. Is Renair still, has he been rolled away?
Renair is being moved into the chair, onto the gurney as she's saying this.
He's not awake, probably.
He's not really. Fuck. I mean, you don't know for sure. Go over.
I could go over to him, yeah.
You go over as you're getting ready to leave, and he's being moved. I'll roll.
I'm not going to wake him up.
Odds or evens?
Oh, shit. Odds.
You make your way over, and as he's being moved, you kind of... Vincent, who are these people? What's going on?
Hi, you are going to be fine. You are in the temple of the fractured mother. They've agreed to help you, and you're gonna get treated, okay?
Oh, that's good.
How are you feeling?
He looks at you and sort of smiles. Much better now.
Take it easy, all right? Rest.
Okay.
I'll, push his hair back. I'll see you when you wake, okay?
I'll see you soon. See you. He's still in this kind of loopy state as he falls back to rest, and the nurses in their garb begin to kind of move him.
Let's say, good night, sweetheart. And then I'll leave.
Deville walks with you and says, "Sweetheart, I've never
Shut the fuck up."
You
punches him in the shoulder.
Begin to walk back through the labyrinthian hallways of the temple with Elizabeth and Deville. Anything else that you want to ask in these last few moments?
Deville.
Mm-hmm.
Before we go anywhere dangerous, can you use and I point his necklace.
Yes.
Can you tell someone where we're going? Azram, probably, most likely, because the necklace,
Well, there's one person I can tell.
Yeah.
Sure. Give me a moment. And he kind of ducks away to the side to send a message to Azram, which I'm going to make a note of for that time, which is around 10 a.m. currently. Mm-hmm. And as you make your way forward, Elizabeth speaks again in a more centered tone of voice, saying, "Okay, steel yourself for whatever's ahead. We're going to meet with a contact of mine, somebody that can possibly give us a lead with a bit of intimidation towards who may be responsible for this."
All right. You got it? Sure.
This may be pertinent to our conversation that we have with this individual. You are good with words. I know this. And so you may be doing some of the talking here a bit better than I am.
I would not call myself good with words, but I will do whatever you need me to do. Sure, yeah.
Then
Just words? Just words or force? Or
be ready to use
just-
both. Words,
Okay.
force, whatever you need.
Alright.
How familiar are you with snag racing?
Oh my fucking god!
And that's where we'll end.